Hello, Black Titanic in the house again. This is Black Titanic. Y'all is getting ready to storm, so if the lights go out, y'all will know why. Because it's getting ready to storm. Listen, y'all. Last time it stormed, the lightning just tore up my house. I mean, it was like trees was down all on top of the roof. We still ain't got the trees off the roof yet, y'all. And it's getting ready to storm again. I hate it when it's storming. But anyway, I was trying to wait for some of y'all to get up in here. How y'all doing? How y'all doing? I'm going to get the books out the way first. For those of you that order this book, some of you guys are ordering my spiritual book. It's called Angels in Time of Trouble. I introduced this book to y'all the day before yesterday, and some of y'all already ordering the book. I told y'all that, what is this? Turn off some lights. You are, okay. You are not, okay. Turn off some of the lights, you say? You can't see me? Hold on. Can y'all see me? Is that better? Turn off some lights you are not using. Oh, you saying for the storm? Is that what y'all mean? You can see. Okay, she said turn off some of the lights I'm not using. Okay, I got it. I thought you meant right now. I'm gonna turn the light. See, it haven't started storming yet. It's kind of dark to me, y'all. Yeah, it haven't started storming yet. So I'm trying to come on in and give y'all a little lesson before it starts storming. But let me get the books out the way. Let me get this out the way. This book right here is called Angels in Time of Trouble. So I put this up, I said the day before yesterday. This the last book I got, and y'all ordering the book already. Here's the deal with this book. I have to order the book from the printers, okay? So I don't have any available. This is my own copy. They go so fast, y'all. So I'm going to return the money for these books right here. And then when they come in, when I have them printed up, I'll let y'all know. But those of you who want this book that sent your money, I'm going to send it back. And when the books come in, do anybody know a printer that can do mass production? I want them to be black, because these people that print my books, they're another race of company, but I would rather pay my money with my own kind. You know how that is, y'all. Yeah, and then I got this book. I got a few of these books. We're going to talk about the Thug's Passion today, y'all. Yeah, oh Lord, I got to hide her. That's my grandson right there, y'all. Y'all remember the one I hit in the head with the baseball? That's him right there. I had to hide her face because she mad at him. That's his baby mama. She mad at him right now. So she said, "Don't show my face. Don't show my face." His baby mama, he another Martell. He been cheating on her. He love women, y'all. But yeah, this is my grandson right here. This is called A Thug's Passion. I got a few of those books left. That book right there is, I'm going to talk to Erin about that. When she said older people hasn't went through anything. Yeah, I wrote that book to heal from. Yeah. I was, after I divorced, I went through a series of guys that wouldn't treat me right. Then I had to just go on the inside. Why am I attracting all these kinds of men? And once I examined that, it was me. That's what I was attracting. It was me. So, I got it together mentally. Then after I got myself together mentally, those kind of men didn't approach me anyway. You know how you're a young girl, you walking in a mall, you got a certain type. I just had a certain type of man that I liked it. That was stupid. That's when you're young and dumb, y'all. Well, I wasn't that young, but I was free. I had got married so young to when I was free. Oh Lord, this child over here crying. She's sleeping. She finna get on my nerve now. Calm down, boo. Everything gonna be all right, okay? Your mama coming back in a minute. I'm live now, okay? So anyway, that's my little great grandbaby. She crying because her mama went to the store, child. She want to go with her. But anyway, I was saying that I just had a certain type that I liked it. My man had to be tall. He had to be at least 6 feet. Had to be slim. He just had to have that bad boy, kind of like I like the kind of like the bad, like a Tupac, but intelligent. But he got street sense. All that stupid stuff. Y'all women know what I'm talking about. Don't act like y'all know what I'm talking about. Everybody like that Tupac. So if y'all order this book, is raw, it's adult, and it's not edited real good neither, child. I was just writing down my feelings. Next thing I knew, I had a whole book, and then I sent it to be printed, and then edited or nothing. So now, since I got older and I read it, I was like, oh Lord, did I write this? Did I used to do this? Did I used to be like this? But I come a long ways, You're not never too old to learn. We gon' always, at my age, I'm still learning. I learn for you young people too. When I'm reading y'all posts, I learn. I learn it. Even if it's criticism. I might feel bad for a minute, but I'll think about it. And if there's room for me to change, I'll change. But anyway, today we're going to be talking about the thug's passion, y'all. Yeah, the thug's passion. Let me read y'all what the thugs is. We're going to be talking about Martell hopes. And we're going to go way back when Arian, we're going to go in the vault. Y'all remember the vault when Arian came on the scene? That's where we're going today. Oh, Lord. So let me read to y'all what is the thug, yo, thing. That was me. Look, this is what I wrote that book. It's a thug, yo, thing. I'm gonna read this to y'all. Women who love bad guys. He's handsome. Wears a three-piece suit. Who y'all know is that? Martell. Wears a three-piece suit. Or he wears his jeans off his butt, a jailhouse tattoo, and gold chains around his neck. Oh, is he looking good, ladies? He looking good. Well, he's the third passion. All right, now, lady, looking good. He hangs out on the street corner with his grills showing, smiling and hustling and scheming and conning people. Convinced that you're in love, passion ignites. Yeah, Arian was in love, man. She saw that man with all the muscles and looking good to her. It didn't matter whether he had another woman or not. It didn't matter whether he was married. She wanted that man. Martell got a lot of thugs in him, she was impressed because he had that thug like in him, and then it appeared that he was a professional. But we all know that was his wife covering him. But that's what she liked. All right? Like chocolate, you crave him. Or like an addict who needs that next hit, you crave him. And he's the last thing that a nice girl like you need. But one adventurous with him can get you killed or put in prison. But the thug's passion is your world. Yeah, lady, we talk about the thug's passion today. And oh Lord, let me hide Jamie. Jamie said she mad at him. She caught him with a woman, y'all. Yeah, she caught my grandson with a woman. Mm-hmm. Yeah, she did. His baby mama to call him with a woman. She don't want. She said, She wanted me to. I gotta redo the whole darn. I gotta do the whole darn cover because she mad at him. She don't even want to be seen with because she caught her with a woman. So I don't know if they're gonna make up or not. But as long as they don't keep my grandbaby from me, that's all I have. I don't know when he gonna settle down. He's 34 years old. Time to settle down. I'm gonna tell you something. I tell on him too. Now look, I don't tell, but if they ask me, I tell the truth. Now he was messing around on her, and they had broke up. So we was having some barbecue he bought this girl to. She said next to me, "Oh, you his grandmama?" I'm like, "Yeah, babe." He said that he wanted me to have his baby. What? She had to say that shit to me? Fuck. I'm like, Lord, no, you ain't finna have no baby by him. And he lied to the girl. Now, y'all girls know if a guy, you just met a guy, he don't hardly know you. He telling you he wants you to have his baby. You impressed. He done took you to see his grandmama. You over his mama. How you impressed, right? He just want one thing, y'all. That's all he wanted to do is get on them draws. That's why he was talking that stuff to that girl. I looked at that girl. I said, no, you ain't gonna have no baby by him. She said, well, he wanted me to have a baby. She said she was just so happy. She was a cute little old girl. I said, no, Lord, I'm tired of raising kids. And then I said, he already got 2 kids. She said, 2? He told me he didn't have 1 kid. I didn't know. I didn't know that. I didn't know I was telling on him, but shit, I just told the truth. But that's just it. But I told her, all right, and I warned her, you dating, that's on you. So she started dating. Yeah, she started dating. Now you see that girl right there. That's his main girl. That's his baby mama. She started dating him. And then she get to calling me about 6 months later. I said, girl, I told you. But you didn't listen to me. You want to date him anyway. I told you he was a womanizer. So shit, I told you that the first time you met me. So that's on you. But anyway, let's get to Love and Marriage Huntsville, y'all. Do y'all remember when Martell had that interview with Dr. Heavenly on Carlos? Do y'all remember that interview? Yeah. That kind of Martell was too slow for Dr. Heavenly. You know what? He called himself checking him on Arian. Now, one thing I would love to see Martell do for once, check people when they coming for mail. I've never seen him do that. He have never checked nobody, but he checked people. He called himself checking Dr. Heavenly. Talking about some, yeah. I think Dr. Heavenly said that he gave the side dish. How did that go, y'all? I don't know. Something about the side dish or for the whole meal or something. I don't know how it go. But either way, Martell thought that she was disrespectful for saying that by Arian. So she flipped the script on it. Dr. Heavenly was too fast for him. She got to interview him. Carlo just let her interview him. She said, well, what is the woman to you? Martell? Oh, she's my baby mama, he said. She's my baby mama, he said. And then Dr. Heavenly said, well, are you going to marry the girl? And he said, no. He frowned up that face and said, no. And then I'm like, oh my God, this has got to be the most embarrassing thing to Arian because 3 days before that, Arian had went live talking about something she was engaged. She said she was engaged to the man. The man come right on national platform and said, no, but he want to get married one day, but not to her. But anyway, I'm going to put that on. I'm going to cut the lights on, and that's what we're going to see, that interview with Dr. Heavenly and Martell. Martell Hope. And we going way back when. We'll go way back when Arian came on the scene. Now, what I did was compare her then until now. Then she was very, very, very happy, always kept herself looking up because she was living off of male money. She was living off of male money, you know. She was living it up. She was happy. She was that girl. She was a motherfucking area. I'm motherfucking area. Y'all know why she say that. Yeah, that's when she, and then I brought it up to today. Cause this girl brown up like a prune. She's just so stressed out because why? Martell is messing around on her now, so it's not funny anymore. But anyway, I'm gonna get up. I'm finna to oh Lord, what I do with the remote? Oh, I see it. Y'all, I, I be putting stuff down and I forget. How y'all doing out there, y'all? I be trying. He wanted her to meet him by the car to impress her. His best gate is how he gets women. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. And then you know what? She right. A lot of women are impressed with men with nice cars. Yeah, that's a great point. Some women they see a guy. That's when I was young. When I was a teenager, girl be like, they see a guy with a nice car. They didn't care what he looked like. They did not care. If he had a nice car, he could get a girl. So that's a great analogy. But I'm finna turn it, y'all, and we getting ready to watch. Go way back when we're gonna watch the interview. It's gonna with Carlos, Dr. Heavenly, Martell, and then I'm gonna have Arian gonna be popping in and out. Okay, y'all. All right, y'all. We getting ready to get it. We getting ready to get down. Oh. All right, y'all.
Now we go up the faces of the people who live here in many historical periods.
All right, come on. Come on, boo. All right, y'all, we got it.
Regardless of friendship, a boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, it doesn't matter. I feel there's certain boundaries that outsiders should step in. Absolutely. So you get married. That's what you're saying. You're thinking enough with this lady to make her your wife. No. Okay.
Y'all saw that express?
So you get married. That's what you're saying. You're thinking enough with this lady to make her your wife. No. Okay.
Y'all saw that expression? Y'all see that?
So you get married. That's what you're saying. You're thinking enough with this lady to make her your wife. No. Okay.
Y'all saw that expression? Y'all see that?
So you get married. That's what you're saying. You're thinking enough with this lady to make her your wife.
I think y'all go off on me. I'm really a sweet person, y'all. I'm not what y'all think I am. That's the crazy part about it. That's the thing that's so ironic about everything. Like, y'all don't even have no idea. But y'all know, because when you got me chasing for 5 years.
Y'all see that? Y'all see this right here? That skeleton represents Ariel. That means that she gonna wait for him till she old and gray. She gonna be a skeleton still waiting for him.
And y'all hate that. Y'all hate that. Y'all supposed to be so mad. Y'all know what was going on. Y'all know what was going on. Y'all do now? Or do y'all?
We didn't know he didn't want you, girl. Only you didn't know that. Know what? That's where it's coming from.
Enough for this lady to make her your wife. No.
This is my feeling. Figuring out something. Scared for the truth to get out. Scared to know that my husband was interested in somebody else, and I believe that that was wrong.
Hey, look, that was when she was living off. This is right here. Look at how she looked. That's when she was living off of male money. She said Mel was intimidated by her. She's so stupid and she didn't have no job. The woman was taking care of her. She taking care of her.
Y'all know what was wrong. Y'all do now.
The bed sleepy.
Or do y'all?
We didn't know he didn't want you, girl. Only you didn't know that. Know what? That's where it's coming from.
Enough for this lady to make her your wife.
No.
This is my feeling. Figuring out something. Scared for the truth.
Y'all going in my room.
Scared to know that my husband was interested in somebody else, and I believe that that was wrong. Scared a little, bothered a little, intimidated a little.
Intimidated, she said.
Whatever. But y'all got too many times tonight.
Okay, Arian. That you know what? Only you are saying that. Martell is not saying anything. he don't even acknowledge you. You got a baby by. He have reduced you to a friend now because you got a baby by.
You're the only one who has that wrong in the relationship.
Hey y'all, this is Martell Hope's public service announcement. It's coming from Keeping Up with the Hopes. And y'all know what? I'm gonna go live with y'all. Tell me what y'all think. Will y'all support me? Yeah, y'all, I want to go live. We can go live. I want y'all to even support me. Call in. That's what I want to do. I'm learning how to do this, y'all. But if y'all gonna support me, I will go live. Call in.
Girlfriend, husband, wife, or whatever. And then surprised, you find out that they have been doing just as worse over the years. How would that make you feel? After them ridiculing you and killing you over the years for doing whatever you've done, you guys making them do it. But in turn, they were doing the same thing, but you never find out. And at the same time, over the years, they would thank Jesus for allowing them to have the strength to not do anything crazy, but only to find out that the same thing they were thanking Jesus for them not doing, they were doing. So,
y'all hear this man? He blaming his wife for his infidelity. He got to say that, Mel was praying to Jesus and going to church and cheating on him. That's what he was saying.
But, how would it make you feel? Would it make you feel better knowing that your partner engaged in certain things?
Thanks again, guys.
What are you talking about? I know you're talking about Arian.
Subscribe and hit that notification. But y'all go off on me. I'm really into person, y'all.
Look at the wrinkles, y'all. Look at her. Look at there.
That's the crazy part about it. That's the thing that's so ironic about everything. Like, y'all don't even have no idea. But y'all know.
I gotta stop this, y'all. Y'all see the difference? Look at there. That's when she was so happy when she first came on the scene. When she said she was taking this man, she thought he had took this man now. Now look, he divorced, and look at this girl. Look at this girl. This girl is so stressed out. This man about to drive her crazy. Calmer than hit her. And look over here. That's her right there. She talking about I wait. And that she gonna be still waiting. She gonna be looking just like that, and he still ain't gonna help.
Because when you got me chasing for 5 years, and y'all hate that. Y'all hate that. Y'all must be so mad. He wasn't yours. Y'all know what was going on. Y'all know what was going on. Y'all do now? Or do y'all?
Yeah. We didn't know he didn't want you, girl. You didn't know that. Know what? That's where it's coming from. So Arian said, I never disrespected anyone until I was used for these people to become famous. What do y'all expect? Y'all still have an opinion on a person who is talked about, but not on the show. Why? Because they. Now, what she's talking about when a fan texted, why do Martell allow Arian to disrespect? Come on and say hi, Mom. The name is blocked out. We assume it's Mel. He never protected me, Miss Charlotte. Just say stuff for ratings. He has never respected me publicly. Shame on me. Arian, people have been telling you this for years. If anything, Arian was our storyline because we had nothing else to talk about. Y'all silly AF. Y'all know what that means. That's Arian for y'all. And we have perhaps those who have left two legs stones that are found in America. Okay, what you're getting ready to look at now, this is called the Olmec civilization. They unearthed this civilization here in America. Now, they found all these giants, giants' heads. They were stones heads, bigger than apartments building in Mesoamerica. from Arizona, California, Texas, and Mexico. They unearthed this black civilization. These people were civilized. Why? Why the Caucasians were still in the mountains. They were civilized. They had militaries. They had schools. They had everything, science, technology. This is the Olmec civilization. They were the first people here, even before Christopher Columbus. They were here, the Olmec civilization.
There are about 1 million pieces left in America of the faces of the people who lived there in many historical periods. This is unusual in American art. It is colossal and it is just a head. That's very important. You find that when you go into the great African world, the enormous statues, you find the colossal heads, etc. And it's not, I'm not talking about an art style. Look at that face. They say, look, the reason why it has a puff nose and puff lips is because it's a baby face. That's one of the explanations. That one.
Okay, right here is quiet. Y'all see the back? They rarely show the back of the head. These are braids or dreadlocks. These are y'all ancestors that was right here in America. They don't never show y'all that. This is a black man, y'all. This man got on a military hat. And these are his dreadlocks. Yeah, these are black people that were here in America. Way thousands and thousands of years. They say they predate the Bible. What you are looking at are your ancestors. This is the Olmec civilization. They were here in America way before Christopher Columbus or any European. You notice he has on a military hat. They had a military, they had an educational system. They were really sophisticated. Just throw it down, y'all, so y'all can see what y'all look. These big colossal heads were unearthed. They were buried underground. They weighed tons and tons and tons. I forgot how many tons they were. The black man began his career in America, not as slave, but as master of science, culture, and learning. Just throwing them down for you guys. When you look into the mirror, you know what you're looking at? You're looking at your ancestors. The Olmecs was the first people that made mirrors and rubbers. They made the mirrors out. They show the front of the Olmec's head, but the back proves without a doubt that they were Africans. Yeah, they predate the Bible. It says Olmec, blacks in America before Columbus, and predating the Bible. They even predate Jesus. The ancient Olmecs of Mexico and Mesoamerica. Turn that light on.
So they were finding all these colossal heads. They found over 100 some pieces. There, a whole civilization, a whole city buried. And hey, y'all, that's why they don't want to rewrite the history books. They all in Congress mad because we want the truth in this history book, but they do not want the truth. They call it critical race theory. And they're saying that if we teach critical race theory, it would make the little white kids feel bad in school. That's what they're saying. They were trying to hide it because the Europeans does not want you guys to know that you were the first person here. Let's start right here. The Olmec secret blacks in America before Columbus and predating the Bible, even Jesus. Yes, you heard it.
Our DNA, black people DNA, is older than the Bible. We were here before Jesus. All right. The ancient Olmecs of Mexico and Mesoamerica, meaning Texas, California, and Arizona, is now part of the United States. But in ancient America, it was Mexico. It is one of the most intriguing civilization of the Americas. In fact, they are the first civilization in Mexico, and it was from them that all other civilizations in Mesoamerican followed. They are you. You know who they are? They are you.
They are you. Those are your ancestors, y'all.
Yeah, the fact that the Olmecs were mostly like a black civilization of African origin has not been made public. And the Indian elements in Mexico have gained more prominence to the extent that the Negroid substrate of the ancient Mexican Mesoamerican civilizations have been kept hidden. Yes, it's been kept hidden, and we are the first people in this area. Yet over the past many years, various level of proof has been found linking the Olmecs to Africans in the western part of the world. So
okay, y'all. Let me tell y'all something. My daughter, I told y'all my daughter worked behind the scenes, but last week she had to go with the Real House of Potomac, and they went to the Grand Canyon, and they got pyramids. America got pyramids all through America where blacks have built civilizations. Proof that blacks was here first, but y'all will never hear about it.
Done by Van Sertima. They came before Columbus. You guys need to look it up. This is the Olmec civilization. You have to do your own reading. Most of this stuff you may find hard to believe because you've been taught differently. These right here are other sculptures that they're made. These are black people right here in America. A whole civilization was unearthed under the ground. Meanwhile, these people had learning institutions, militaries, you name it. They were sophisticated while the Europeans were still in the Caucasus Mountains in the cave. That's just the truth. This is why they do not want our history taught in school.
Okay, y'all, we're gonna move on along, y'all. So now we're finna go to June 10th. Let's go to June 10th. We're gonna find out what happened to the slaves. This is the one I want from 1865 to 2021. Juneteenth.
Trillions in D.C. liberal spending sent inflation through the roof. Senator Raphael Warnock voted with Bernie Sanders and Nancy Pelosi for massive new...
General Order Number 3, the Juneteenth Order.
The people of Texas are informed that, in accordance with a proclamation from the Executive of the United States, all slaves are free. This involves an absolute equality of personal rights and rights of property between former masters and slaves. And the connection heretofore existing between them becomes that between an employer and hired labor.
You can imagine the burden lifted from these people, the men, the women, the children that knew that they were chattel, property, and now understanding that they were free. But the question that was lingering was, what did freedom look like?
The slaves built this country.
They had a sense of who they were. They very quickly built a sense of community.
To what degree have we actually achieved the absolute freedom that Juneteenth promised?
Ignoring these painful histories doesn't mean that they don't still influence us.
We stand on the shoulders of those that came before us, and we need to honor their memory by telling their story.
Juneteenth, 1865 to 2021.
Galveston, Texas, place known for tourism and quick getaways. But it's the history which happened here that impacts us all today.
African slaves were brought here on ships in the 1800s, but even after the slave trade ended, slavery here did not.
It was 1865, June 19th, now known as Juneteenth, when Union soldiers arrived and told slaves they were free.
It came 2 years after President Abraham Lincoln announced slavery had ended in the United States.
And we should remember this important date, June 19, 1865, represents the evolution of our country to a more perfect union. We were not perfect in 1528, 1619, 1776, 1865, or even the day in 2021, but we're moving, hopefully, to a more perfect union.
Juneteenth is directly related to the history of the Civil War and the emancipation of enslaved people in the Confederacy. Juneteenth is important for Texas because that is when enslaved Texans learned they were free and that the Confederacy had fallen.
So we're standing in the 2200 block of the Strand Historic District in Galveston. This was the heart of the commercial district, and at one time
Was the largest city in Texas.
the largest enslaver also lived here in Galveston. They owned 7 plantations, 4 in Brazoria County, 2 in Matagorda County, and 1 in Fort Bend.
Texas was a safe haven for slavery. They did what they called the running of the slaves. That was basically moving their slaves to Texas because there was no Union presence in Texas.
When Lincoln issued the Emancipation Proclamation, he knew that that would not immediately end slavery, and it didn't. And the reason is fairly simple. The Confederate States of America had formed its own country. They elected their own president. Confederate states printed their own money, which is why the Confederacy and the United States went to war. The United States' goal at the beginning of the war was just to restore the Union. The first war goal was not to emancipate the enslaved population.
And there were all these myths and stories about what happened and why it took 2.5 years for the word to reach Texas. Plantation owners in Texas were well aware of the Emancipation Proclamation, but they ignored it. What they cared about was maintaining the agrarian economy in Texas, and that was solidly based on cotton. And to maintain that, they needed slave labor. General Gordon Granger was on his way to Texas. Most of the Texas authorities had a pretty good idea what he was coming to Texas to do. Granger was in Texas for about a month. He sent his troops.
There were white soldiers and black soldiers.
Plantation to plantation, making the announcement.
Those black soldiers are people who especially helped shift the Union war goals from a war to restore the Union into a war of emancipation. It was perfect.
Yeah, y'all. America has never won a war without a black man. If a black man not in their war, they can't win it. But what's so tragedy about this is during this time, they helped them win the Civil War. And then once the war was over, they were hanging them in their army suits. That's how low down and ungrateful they was.
They went over to the old Custom House on 20th Street to the Courthouse Square, from the Courthouse Square to the Colored Church on Broadway, which was Reedy Chuck.
Some of the dock workers were among the first to get the word, and some of the celebrations began.
Give us a sense of what it must have been like for slaves on Juneteenth when they heard that message.
You know, that was something that was almost like going in.
The celebration, just to be so excited to taste that freedom.
The initial celebrations there would be prayer services looking back at our journey in this country and what we had to endure in bondage. And the people who never lived.
Y'all see how he tearing up?
See that day.
It still hurt him to think about it. See how they hanging
I
him?
think it's inescapable not to remember those people.
Those are your ancestors, y'all. Them your people.
People jumping off ships to avoid the treatment that they would have to endure.
You know what Lord Marshall didn't tell you it was free. He didn't tell you that? No, he didn't tell you. I think now they said to wait them 6 months out of that. 6 months. And turn them loose on the 19th of June.
That's a slave, y'all. A slave.
One of the quotes that I'm most fond of is from a former slave named Felix Haywood. Slavery could make you free, but it couldn't make you rich. Because a lot of slaves thought that now that they were free, they would be rich, just like the white man.
You think about the elation, the trepidation of enslaved people, not knowing what their future holds and being enslaved and bondage being lifted from their backs.
And there was one narrative about one slave who got the word, and his sister said, brother gave a whoop and ran away, and I never saw him again.
Was the South ready to free slaves? No, we know that.
Even though the order indicated enslaved were free, if you look at the last sentence, it gives some instructions of what they can or cannot do.
The freedmen are advised to remain quietly at their present homes and work for wages. They are informed that they will not be allowed to collect at military posts and that they will not be supported in idleness either there or elsewhere.
When you're told you're free, you're thinking that, oh, I can live my life. But it wasn't like that.
On one hand, you were free by name, but the actual reality of
I want to go back and discuss this with y'all, right here. I want to discuss something right here.
No, we know that.
Even though the order indicated enslaved were free, if you look at the last sentence, it gives some instructions of what they can or cannot do.
The freedmen are advised to remain quietly at their present homes and work for wages. They are informed that they will not be allowed to collect at military posts and that they will not be supported in idleness either there or elsewhere.
Okay, that part where he say they would not be supported in idleness either there or elsewhere. Now, that's kind of it's kind of still like that today. Like if the police see a lot of black guys just standing around being idle, they gonna get suspicious. They gonna go over there and they gonna harass. What we're gonna call it racial profiling. They standing around in idleness. They are suspicious. Are they gonna go over there and rob something? So that still stands today. This right here, this last little section right here said they would not be supported in idleness nowhere, even today.
Told you're free, you're thinking that, oh, I can live my life. But it wasn't like that.
On one hand, you were free by name, but the actual reality of freedom, you were not fully experiencing it.
There were a lot of very frightened former slaves, and a lot of them stayed on the plantation.
They laid the bricks in the downtown area here where we stand on many of these buildings. Not only laid the bricks, but made the bricks.
Hey, y'all, they got y'all thinking that we were just picking cotton. No, we were the designers too. All these buildings you see, black men, they designed these buildings. They were the architect. If y'all didn't know, they built the White House. The slaves was the architect of that White House that's standing today.
Just off Galveston's bustling Broadway Street is Ashton Villa, built in 1859 by James Monroe Brown, a loyalist to the Confederacy, dubbed an honorary colonel. Brown was also a wealthy banker, architect, and mason who designed what's believed to be Texas' first all-brick house, a palace with bricks all laid by slaves.
Anywhere you read, they will tell you that, slaves did all the work for this. They had to follow what the contractor was either telling them or showing them in order to do it. And look at this place. It's beautiful.
All of the intricacies.
Y'all see black people design that.
That still stand today. It's amazing.
1859, one of the few buildings that withstood the 1900 storm.
Ashton Villa was saved from demolition in 1970. The historic home, now an event space, is operated by the Galveston Historical Foundation and home to the island's annual Juneteenth celebration.
What to the American slave is your 4th of July? I answer, a day that reveals to him more than any other day. Okay, y'all, we're gonna move it on along now. So y'all see that they had built, we finna go to Tulsa. We're going, I think that's what I wanted.
The plantation. And they did, because so many emancipated people no longer wanted to work in agriculture because it reminded them of enslavement. For many people, the draw was labor, the opportunity to earn wages.
Working to pay off debt. The debts were never paid off. There were a lot of things that still kept the free people
Suppressed.
And that's why a group of them ended up in your hometown in Houston. So they marched to Houston.
I used to live in that 4th ward.
Houston, boom. They began to build homes.
Back in the 80s, I lived in the 4th ward.
Houston was divided into 6 different wards at the time. And so the land in that area of 4th Ward happened to be very low and flood prone. It wasn't land that was coveted by white Houstonians at the time.
When you look at the bricks of Freedmanstown, that brick is a symbol of foundation. That brick was a symbol of hope. The brick was theirs. They made the brick, they formed the brick, shaped the brick, they laid the brick. They stood on the brick.
That's right.
Iconic housing of Freedmanstown was the shotgun house. There was a door in the front and then a door in the back. Mm-hmm. And people would joke that if you shot a gun, the bullet would travel all the way through without hitting anything.
The legendary Jack.
Okay, y'all, I'm going to move it on to the Tulsa. We're going to move on up to 1921.
The first
Let's
time
go.
I walked along these bricks, I was very emotional. This is where my
right here.
That
this is Tulsa. Y'all ever heard of Black Wall Street?
You feeling the pain of higher prices at the grocery store? That's because Congress is spending and borrowing way too much.
Okay, y'all. Now, we're moving on along now. The slaves are free. And most of them, like I told y'all, they were builders. So Tulsa was considered Black Wall Street because of all the wealth. Wait a minute, let me turn this off. Anyway, y'all, last year, this is in June 2021, it was the 100-year anniversary of Tulsa Race Massacre. It was a massacre. They got jealous because those slaves, they were no longer slaves, but they had hotels, they had airports, they had hospitals, you name it. They had the best town in the world. And no white people got jealous and bombed them out. So last year, me and my comrade, we went down there to the 100th anniversary. Actually, this month, June, I forgot, y'all. This month, June, will be the 101 anniversary of the Tulsa massacre. This what you want.
And shaking hands. And everything's okay now. That's not the case.
In America, you can sometimes convince yourself that the nation's legacy of trauma and racial violence is some far-off memory, a grainy black and white past long forgotten. But in Tulsa, Oklahoma, that distance between the past and present begins to shrink. 100 years ago, this community experienced a race massacre.
18 hours of sheer destruction. 18 hours of men.
I was there, y'all.
But for Black Tulsans, the story didn't end with the massacre. It continued for 100 years, a trauma felt by each generation in its own way, through segregation, through urban renewal, through gentrification. This story is about the people of Greenwood, what was taken from them, and their fight to be made whole.
So imagine where we would be had it not happened. And our family's been destroyed.
Because the American story can't be contained in a snapshot. It's an epic poem, oral history passed from one generation to the next.
You didn't read it in a book. You didn't see it in a movie. You witnessed it yourself in reality.
Yes.
History can make your heart bleed.
Them your people, y'all. Some still alive. A lot of them people still alive. That wasn't no long time ago.
It wasn't always a story about loss and bloodshed. Before that streak of white violence undid this place, the Booker T. Washington coined the Greenwood neighborhood Black Wall Street, a nod to its thriving Black business community, and the name stuck.
Black Wall Street is really a reference to the economic and entrepreneurial character of the business district in the Greenwood community. These were mom and pop type operations, sole proprietorships, beauty salons, restaurants, grocery stores, haberdasheries, pharmacies.
On the eve of the massacre, Greenwood was a district of 10,000 people and one of the wealthiest Black communities in the United States. But Greenwood was an island of Black prosperity in a sea of racism. Situated in the heart of a strictly segregated city, in a segregated state, in a segregated country, and 100 years ago, for 18 hours over the course of one weekend, Greenwood became a tinderbox, lit up by the rage of a white ruling class.
Telephone poles were burning and falling, and my poor sister was 2 years younger than I am. Can't use the world on fire, so I don't think so, but we in deep trouble.
So the catalytic event for the massacre in Tulsa in 1921 began on Monday, May 30th, 1921.
Dick Rowland, 19 years old and Black, crossed paths in an elevator with a 17-year-old white girl named Sarah Page. History books offer us one version of events.
Something happened on the elevator. We don't know exactly what, but it's likely that Dick Rowland either bumped into, brushed up against, or stepped on the foot of Sarah Page. She overreacted. She began to scream. Dick Rowland, frightened, ran from the elevator.
Family lore offers another.
What the man saw was not a man attacking a woman, not a Black man attacking a woman. What he saw was two people kissing. Sarah Page and Dick Rowland were lovers. He was accused of attacking her, and Sarah, from what we understand, tried to tell him, no, we're in love. We're getting married.
She would refuse to cooperate with prosecutors after they arrested Dick Rowland and charged him with assault. Though that might have been the end of the story, it wasn't, because of the role of the Tulsa Tribune. It published a story the next day entitled "Nab Negro for Attacking Girl in an Elevator."
What happened next should have been shocking, but it's not.
A group of white men amassed on the lawn of the courthouse, numbering ultimately in the thousands. A number of Black men, several dozen, some of them World War I veterans, marched down to the courthouse. vowing to protect Dick Rowland from what they thought might be a certain death by lynching.
Yeah. He had an old pistol around the house. He people with one in his pocket. He heard that they were trying to lynch a black boy down at the courthouse.
A white man tried to take a black man's gun, and in the words of a number of survivors of the massacre, all hell broke loose after that.
In less than 24 hours, that mob turned 35 square blocks of unparalleled black economic prosperity into smoldering ashes.
We saw coming up the wall 4 men with torches in their hand. When my mother saw them coming, she said, "You get up under the bed, get up under the bed." They set our house on fire and went right straight to the curtains and set the curtains on fire.
Y'all see that old man? I was there last year, and they had a parade. It had all the survivors in the parade. I just went up and hugged them and cried. I cried like a baby in that man's arm. Oh Lord! What? And you know, they always say, "Can't you just forget about your history?" That was a long time ago. No, that wasn't no long time ago. I'm still here. Y'all still got your ancestors still here.
We saw over 10,000 people be made homeless. In 18 hours, we saw 1,256 homes destroyed.
Today, that land would have been valued at $25 to $30 million.
Wow.
The official death toll was 37, a number almost too low to believe.
You know that.
Most experts
You know they
believe that
lied.
between 100 and 300 people were killed, most of them black. A number of folks in the Greenwood community were interned during the massacre. What that did was to leave the Greenwood community defenseless.
Thousands tried to flee Greenwood.
White guy asked my grandfather, "Where the hell you going?" You the N-word. And my grandfather said, "We're going out of town." And he said, "Not this day, you're not going out of town." Bam!
You saw your grandfather get shot?
I saw him get shot. Bam!
The first aerial terrorist attack in American history was not done by Al Qaeda, was not done by the Japanese, but the first time we were attacked by air in this country was done by white men, and they flew planes that were owned by privately held corporations.
When I was awakened by my mother, I was real frightened because she told me what was happening.
She's
And
still
she said,
alive,
"You have
y'all.
to
She's
go
still
out,
alive.
Get out." I said, she says, "The white people are killing the colored people."
Farther north from the train tracks out of town, the nightmare was just beginning. Eldoris Mukadashi, just 9 years old at the time, was running for her life.
And the track was just full of people, and all I could see was black rolling smoke down south and the people going north. It was just the sound of this bricks, stones, buildings blown up, just the war-torn place.
Eldoris' granddaughter, Joy Mukadashi, can only imagine the horrors of her grandmother's escape.
So the bullets are bouncing off of the train tracks and stinging their feet. She's already scared to death, but now they realize, oh, they're shooting at us. They're dropping bombs on us.
Bullets were just raining down over us. Airplanes was up, just raining down the bullets. And I was so frightened, I pulled away from my parents and ran into this chicken coop with all the other people.
Noticed, it seems like it's getting hotter.
The wildfires, the heat domes, the higher sea level rise, these are part of the same phenomena. This is climate change.
100 to 300 dead, thousands more missing. In 2001, the Oklahoma Commission to Study the Race Riot of 1921 released a report naming 3 locations where mass graves from the massacre may be buried. But at the time, the city administration decided that it wasn't worth the expense to dig up the past. In 2020, the city's current mayor, G.T. Bynum, authorized the excavations to commence.
I think one of the things that caused previous public officials to avoid it was this fear that there'd be this giant backlash against it, that there'd be this steep political price to pay.
The Republican mayor first proposed looking for victims in 2018, a challenge for the predominantly conservative city of Tulsa, where over 60% of residents are white and just 15% are black.
Someone was not happy with me pursuing this investigation, and she came up to me when I was out at breakfast with my wife and kids and said, "You're just trying to make all the white people who lived in Tulsa in the 1920s look bad." And I said, "My family were white people in Tulsa in the 1920s. I'm not trying to make them look bad, but everybody who lives here deserves to know what happened."
The mayor appointed local historian Kevin Ross to chair a public oversight committee investigating the mass graves. So far, 12 caskets have been exhumed, and the process of identifying them has begun.
How are you actually finding some of these grave sites?
So we get the power of radar, but most of that is basically just good old-fashioned oral history. Those people who kept the story alive. We knew of 2 tombstones of those who were victims from 1921, but we had never known that they would be in a trench, stacked like dominoes. I'm hoping that for the 12 or so bodies that's underneath this ground, we'll have some kind of justice. It's been a hole literally in the hearts of Tulsans because there are loved ones that are out there unknown to us. We're just at the beginning on truth.
Vernon AME Church is one of the oldest buildings on Greenwood Avenue. Its facade was one of the few structures to survive the massacre.
There are moments in life when we examine the excruciating evidence of man's inhumanity to man. Some seem to wonder, is God just? We heard the same sentiment in communities of color after Trayvon Martin, after Tamir Rice, after Eric Garner, after Breonna Taylor, and then Ahmaud Arbery and Botham Jean in Texas. We heard it even in my parents' generation after the killing of Emmett Till. And included in that number is the place we stand today. The 1921 Tulsa Race Massacre.
Parishioners huddled in the basement as the city burned around them.
These are the original bricks. This is the wall that shows why the fire did spread. Because there's a wall that stretched from here all the way over there.
So this wall right here is what saved this church.
That's right. What saved people who came in from this window.
They saw refuge, the bombs,
that's right,
the bullets, and would have taken refuge in this space.
In this very space. It is something I can never get used to. Because I know that their cries, that their prayers that they prayed still reverberate. Can you imagine losing an entire community?
Yes.
And nobody go to jail.
Nobody.
But yet, people still came back to this church. Some with the same question in 1921 that we have in 2021. Is God just?
How do you, as a leader of this church, try to respond to those prayers?
It is knowing that I'm fighting for what they prayed for. We rebuild from ashes. And that's what this church is. If it were not for what God blessed them to do, Vernon would not be here today. And at the Centennial, we wouldn't have anything on historic Greenwood Avenue. But because of what they did, we have something.
All right, y'all. That was the 100-year
3 days
anniversary.
after the end
And
of the
I got one more.
Published.
I'm going to bring it up to date when I went down there.
It began.
So it was a 100-year anniversary. And so I went down there with some of my comrades. Let me pull that up. This the last video, y'all. Okay. Let's see if I can pull it up right here. Yeah, here we go. This me and my comrades right here. We're doing, this is off of OC the Great TV. I had my own films, but mine was too blurry to show. So I'm showing Brother OC. He's y'all check his channel out, OC the Great TV. But these are my comrades. We went down there last year to the 100th anniversary of Tulsa.
Tulsa, Oklahoma. Standing in solidarity with the community of Tulsa and the celebration and even the reconstruction of Black Wall Street here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. You got a lot of the comrades, police escort coming up the road. I'll probably pause it for a second just to save time. There's one formation, Southeast region.
These are my comrades.
You got comrades right here.
This is Sister Muhammad, my crew right here, y'all. That's Sister Muhammad, my comrades. I wasn't with them, I was with my family, but we are all family. We all one tribe.
Been here, been nothing but sin here.
These are all my comrades. These are different Black Panthers group. All of them Black Revolutionary group. We still out here, y'all. Some of them are motorcycle clubs. Some motorcycle clubs, some Black Panthers. We all just became one tribe that day to celebrate the 100th anniversary of Tulsa. A lot of them are motorcycle clubs.
Black power. Black power. Black power. Black power. Black power. Reparations now. Black power. Black power. Black power. Black power. Black power. No justice, no peace, no justice, no peace, no justice, no peace. Black power, 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 black power. Black power. Black power. Yeah. Black power, brother. Black power. Black power.
Black power.
Okay, y'all, that's this example of y'all want to finish seeing this whole tape. You go to OC the Great TV to finish seeing this. But this was the 100th anniversary that we were at.
Black power.
I'm finna turn the lights back on.
Black power. Black power, please.
Okay, hey, y'all still there? Y'all enjoy y'all Black History today? Yeah. So that Tulsa, you know, that was hard wrecking. You know, that was me and my comrades. We went down there last year, and it was just so heartbroken just to be on the same soil. Now that area of the street where we walking up and down saying Black Power, that's the street where they were massacred on. There were once houses there. Our ancestors were murdered on that street. That's why we walked up and down to get the feeling of the spirit of our ancestors. Yeah. So anyway, y'all, hope y'all enjoyed the Black History class. And I don't have nothing else to say. I done held y'all a long time. So thank y'all for watching. If y'all want to finish watching that, the 100-year anniversary where we were at that little parade, just go to OC the Great TV. And it's under Crystal Muhammad in solidarity with the Black movement in Tulsa. And then y'all study on your own. Pull up Tulsa. Learn about Tulsa. Now, we supposed to be citizens of the United States, right? And they bombed us. They bombed us. They were just that jealous. That's why they don't want that history. They don't want to teach this history in school. They saying it's not fair to white people to teach this history in school. But we can sit up and listen to them from the 1st to the 12th grade talk about how they made us pick cotton and how we were slaves. But they don't want to tell all that they did to us. They want you to pretend like this United States was the greatest thing on earth. Anyway, remember your ancestors. Those of you that don't know what ancestor is, it's just your dead mother, your dead father, sister, cousin, friend, whatever. You know, that's all it is. Some of you in the Bible, y'all call them angels. That's all angels are, dead in the Bible, dead people that went to heaven. But we call them ancestors. Yeah, back in the day, they call them ancestors. Y'all look up the Olmec tribe. Go and look that up. Look, OLMEC. It'll be hard for some of y'all to believe that stuff because you've never been taught that before. And then it'd be shocking that your DNA is older than the Bible. Your DNA, that blood, that you, when scientists started trying to find out, you know, about us, they found out that we were older than the Bible. That means that's why they say we are the first civilization. Civilization started in Africa. I know y'all heard that before, but that was way before the Bible, way before Adam and Eve started. We were already here. Anyway, you guys enjoy your night, okay? This the weekend, ain't it, y'all? What y'all gonna do this weekend? Y'all gonna go out and have a good time, some of y'all? Or stay home, pop some popcorn? I'm gonna read this, y'all. When I get off, I'm gonna read y'all, see what y'all writing, okay? Love y'all. Thank y'all for my channel. Now, tomorrow, what we're looking at tomorrow, y'all, make sure y'all tune in. Now, we see where the slaves, what happened to the slaves. We see just up to the 100th anniversary of how America bombed our ancestors because they were doing so well. They bombed them. They just destroyed a whole community and killed a lot of people. Then look at us and say, why can't you pull yourself up by your bootstraps? That's what they look at us and say, you know. So then now we deserve reparation. I think y'all saw yesterday that little old lady that was talking about reparation. Now we finna go to reparation, and now you know why you deserve reparation. Now look, they've been past that bill, 40 acres in a mule, ever since the 1800s. 40 acres in a mule is what they supposed to get us. They not even met up to that. They're not gave nobody nothing. And then that's why every time I look at Biden, them passing all, give other people billions of dollars and won't give us nothing. All right, bye y'all. Love y'all. Enjoy y'all. Enjoy the rest of the weekend.